What's up, guys? It's me, Daniel, with VintageMagic.com. Thanks again for watching. So I want to do a video about something very interesting. I've had some customers ask me about buy lists from other vendors and conditions. I get emails all the time about, hey, Dan, do you think this card is worthy of the grade? Dan, do you think this card is fake? Dan, do you think this card is a good buy? Do you think this is a good trade? And the idea here is that condition guides and vendors are so varied throughout the industry. It's crazy. I think recently Star City just changed their condition guide to either near mint or played. Now, let me give you guys a perspective that I want you guys to think about, because it's very important when you're buying or thinking about investing in Magic the Gathering cards, is that as a buyer or a seller of cards, let's just talk about as a buyer. If you are a buyer of Magic the Gathering cards, you need to think about this very carefully. Do you really want to buy cards that are not of the quality that you're expecting? Are you a person that is picky about the condition of the cards? Does it matter to you that a mint card or a near mint card actually played or has chips here and there, or maybe some edge wear? Well, my advice to you guys is I would only buy from people and vendors that have a consistent track record of actually displaying the cards in a way where they give you some information about the quality of the card. Now, it starts with the scan of the card, because I know a lot of people don't understand this, but if the scan of the card that you're looking to purchase isn't nice, isn't quality, isn't high resolution, that means something's wrong right off the bat. If the seller is not willing to... Have you ever had a situation where sellers have not wanted to give you a scan because of the fact that they're just lazy, or they just don't want to, or the customer service people there are just too busy for you? That right there is a reason not to purchase a card. Now, I totally understand. If you want a scan of Ice Age Brainstorms that are near mint quality, unplayed quality, I don't think it's going to be worthy of a scan for that. But I would say any cards over, I don't know, like $10, $25, I think a scan in some way does help. Or even a photo from Facebook Messenger, text message, whatever. As long as it's good lighting. And that brings up the point. Are the scans you're getting good lighting? Do they display the cards in high quality, high detail? Is the seller willing to give you more information about any surface dents, scratches, issues with the card? These are all important questions you got to ask as a buyer of Magic the Gathering cards, especially the reserve list and high-end cards, because if you don't, you're going to get hosed. Unfortunately, there are vendors and backpack dealers or traders in the community who do not value high quality scans and information so they can sell the cards. Instead, have you gone to Facebook posts in the past where the cards are just displayed like 50 cards in a... Oh, my kid just made some weird noise. You all right, Nick? They've made some scan or a picture on their cell phone that has like a scan of like 50 cards in one picture, and then there's a couple of zoom ins here and there, but they're all blurry and crap. And then they expect to sell these $100 to $400 to $500, $1,000 foil cards. It's just so baffling to me. Why do you think they don't sell? Do you think the marketplace for Magic is bad? Or do you think it's your bad marketing skills and bad information that has been is lacking, that is causing you not to sell the cards? So I've kind of put out these rhetorical questions because I want you to think about some of these things, because I'm sure many of you have already gone through this mess in the past. And it's really important to talk about it because I don't think people really discuss the lack of consistency of the marketplace when you buy cards. I'm not going to bring up vendors. It's not my thing to talk about the competition, but I think you can get an idea of who is consistent with their condition guide and who are not. You can post in the comments below, vendors you've purchased cards and, whatever details of people you've bought cards from where the condition has been bad or good. And that's always interesting to talk about. I think the reality is, even on eBay, eBay offers money back guaranteed. If you don't like the card or it's not of the quality, you're able to initiate a refund. Now, I will say, people's expectations, though, when it comes to mint unplayed cards are very, very high, especially for the collector side. And what's going to happen is you're going to get a lot of people kicking back cards. I've seen this happen a lot. I think it's really important to bring up the point of why we need a better standardized system for Magic the Gathering grading. My proposition is to have it so it's the 10-point scale of the grading companies. Basically, they use, Beckett uses pristine as the highest, but below that is gem mint. Then we have what we call mint, near mint to mint plus, near mint to mint, near mint plus, and then near mint, and then excellent mint, and so on. So there isn't this lightly played, there isn't heavily played or moderate played. There isn't this very fine or, excellent mint really, there is excellent mint, but there isn't this, range of played or near mint like Star City Games does. My question to you is, how do you guys as buyers distinguish to figure out what is the equivalency of each card and, the grading that you're going to get? How do you figure that out? I mean, and also question to people that are trading in cards for BUYLIST, how do you determine that? How do you determine the condition of cards if the range of the vendors have such different standards? And this brings up the point of BUYLIST. When you send in cards to people with BUYLIST, or you send them to individuals who sell them cards, have you ever gone to people that say, whoa, the quality here is not acceptable. The quality is not what I expected. I want to get 50% less, or I want to return these, or, X percentage less, or I'll offer this alternative trade. Have you ever had that situation happen? Unfortunately, I've had to do this because I lay out on my website, on vintagemagic.com, we have a glossary section of the website, and it specifically shows you our 10-point scale. We're very specific on what we're looking for. And there's a lot of people who do not like to read. It's pretty difficult. So my impression of what's going on is this. Buyers don't want to do the work to put together and get together the cards and examine their own cards. Sellers want the buyers to do their part, and therefore the buyers are getting kickbacks of the quality of the cards quite a bit. So I feel like there is a kind of, and then the sellers, some sellers are actually lazy. They don't look at the cards really. They're ultra picky just for absolutely no reason. And then you can't be ultra picky if your grading scale is near mint or just played, because what happens then is you have such a wide range that you're like, no. This card is more played. But the thing is, how about a premium for near mint cards? What if the near mint card is completely unplayed? Why not give the person selling the cards higher quality, higher premiums? And that goes to the point of, why don't vendors give higher premiums for higher quality cards? Novel idea. Well, I'll tell you that story is this, that comment has to do with the fact that I'm a firm believer. If any of you guys, I'm telling you guys a statement here, I'm interested in any high quality old school Magic card. If they're centered, meet the condition guide of an unplayed mint quality card in our description on vintagemagic.com. Go to the glossary, which is the very bottom of the screen. Any screen says glossary, or go to any item. It says glossary on each item. It tells you that we're looking for specific mint cards. I will pay a premium way above BUYLIST. And that's what I'm saying is BUYLIST for near mint cards aren't that good. I'm just saying, for mint quality cards that are considered near mint. So to repeat that clearly, if you have a card that's better than near mint than a typical you would sell to a typical vendor, I will purchase it for more than BUYLIST because that's what we do. I will say something about our BUYLIST on vintagemagic.com. We are updating the BUYLIST. What you see, it hasn't been updated since 2016 because we've been programming a different method to do it. We're going to go with a method of just a PDF download, which you can basically download a PDF of the current BUYLIST versus having all that posted online because it's a big mess anyway, all the structural aesthetics and all that stuff. It's better to have it on a nice downloadable file, kind of like what you see at any kind of Grand Prix, and then you have for your records. But that will be probably rolling out here in the next few months. They said it's already done, but they got to do a little testing on it. I'm excited to share that with you once it comes out, but to be clear, I think it's really important to, when you do BUYLIST, to keep in mind if you are selling to vendors, you're going to get a kickback if you don't do the work on examining your own cards. You cannot assume that your card is near mint. It's a lazy way to go, just being honest. And if you think that the vendors are going to make a mistake, you're right. Some might do for smaller cards. They have leniency. But for the older, more expensive Magic cards, they are going to scrutinize it to the highest level because it's very, very valuable and it's very expensive. All right, so let's talk about it as a seller. If you are selling cards to people, you have to consider having a better condition guide instilled. You cannot go with Star City, ABU Games, Troll and Toad, Card Kingdom. You need to consider looking at the PSA and Beckett websites and also being stricter than that. PSA and Beckett, Beckett especially, their near mint to mint 8 grade is not near mint to mint. That's the thing, is a graded 8 card that's near mint to mint is not really near mint to mint unplayed for Beckett sometimes. For a lot of times. Even with PSA. But a lot of times for Beckett, you would see an 8 or a 7 near mint card actually be played. So, goes back to what I said before. As a seller and as a buyer, you need to consider looking at the card and selling to what the card is worth. No exceptions. You have to look at the card, not just the grade. It's very, very critical. All right, guys. Hey, what do you guys think? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm right? Do you think my thoughts are just completely out of whack? Is there a way for a universal condition guide for everyone to follow? I understand. For vendors, it's going to be a pain to have a condition guide that basically is universal. It's going to take too much work and time. But I think it's important to understand that if you do not consider something like that where everybody follows, you're always going to have a ton of human error. All right, guys, thanks again for watching one of my videos. Please hit subscribe below, and we'll have a great conversation later this week about some other cool videos coming up. Take care.